Welcome back to the Baytown Babysitters Club. And in an attempt to stay fresh, current, not really, just change things up. We both love music, and I don't know if the other video is out at this time, but we did another music video. I don't know what, you know, if people are going to enjoy it or not, but we're going to continue talking about music because we love music. So, in this one, we're going to do top 5 rap hip hop albums. I know what you're thinking. Two white guys are going to tell us about rap.
Oh
But
yeah.
but we love hip hop, we love rap. So, we're going to talk about it. And in an attempt to keep things, out of the norm, we're going to take all the superstars off the list. So, or 90% of them.
Yeah.
So, your Pac, Biggie, Jay-Z, Dre, Snoop, these guys aren't going to be on the list.
No.
We're trying to do something a little,
Just to be
more
different.
obscure. Yeah,
Yeah.
more obscure. And we're talking current, not, of all time. This is just our top 5 current rotations. Some of our all times could be on the list, but all right.
Okay.
So, kicking off the episode with number 5. Jerry, what's your number 5 top hip hop album currently in rotation now around relative to this time of the calendar year?
My number 5 is Beastie Boys. Check Your Head.
Oh shit. All right. Cool.
This album, this was in between uh their 80s style
Mhm.
and moving into like Sabotage.
Mhm.
And I really like the flow of this album. And it some tracks, the Beastie Boys have always had that like style where it feels like real drums and it feels like more punk than
Mhm.
hip hop, but they're able to do it without kind of being like new metal or like how Rage, did
Mhm.
their albums, but it's still jams and it's still funky. And yeah, I mean, yeah, of course. Hey, look, we're two white guys. Number 5, Beastie Boys. Number 4,
Well, here's
Beastie
the funny
Boys. What's the
I
funny
don't
thing?
know. Well, the funny thing is I don't really know much about the Beastie Boys. I haven't listened to them a lot.
Oh yeah,
I know their, major hits like Sabotage, Intergalactic, all those things.
yeah.
And you gotta fight for your right and all that. But I I missed them. Like
Mm-hmm.
I grew up in an urban neighborhood and they weren't getting played. Like the kids in our neighborhood did not the Beastie Boys were not a thing. I
Hmm.
only saw them when I turned on MTV.
Yeah.
So I got to spend some time with them. I need to learn to appreciate them.
Yep. So, all right. What's your number 5?
My number 5 is Kid Cudi's Indica.
Nice.
Uh, this album is just, I mean, when summertime rolls around, this is the album that I am playing.
Mm-hmm.
It has so many good tracks. He is such a unique artist, or was, copycats come along, but he was such a unique artist. And this album was not, it wasn't super mainstream popular, but he sampled like Father John Misty on this album and made
Yeah.
it a great song. And yeah, the album was just unique, and it just it hypes me up for
Yeah.
summertime. So I
Groovy.
love this album, and that's my number 5. What's your number 4?
My number 4 is Public Enemy. It takes a nation of millions to hold us back. This album, it just like Public Enemy is just so cool. Like, and yeah,
Yeah.
I know later Flavor Flav, on the
Yeah, yeah,
TV
yeah, yeah.
shows, it became like a joke, but at the time, I mean, like this was when they were with Anthrax,
Mhm.
and being a kid listening to thrash metal, and then you hear, you know, what is it? Bring the Pain or Bring the Noise? I can't
Mhm.
remember. Or
Bring the
damn it,
noise.
is it Bring the Noise? Okay.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, listening to that track and then going and researching Public Enemy by yourself. Fucking Public Enemy is pretty good. I know they
Oh,
are
yeah.
not talking to me. I
No, they
know
are
that.
not. No, they're
But
specifically talking to other people about us,
yeah, but
but
I
that's
just
okay.
the music is where it's at, and
Mhm.
I like Chuck D's. I like his voice because it
Mhm.
never feels like he's trying to rhythm rap or anything. It
Right.
feels like he's just talking in that style and not like singing to you, or it feels like he's telling you this, you know.
Okay.
And yeah, I think, yeah, Chuck D is awesome. So
Yeah, he is.
yeah.
All right,
So
cool.
your number four is
So, this is a very unknown artist. He is a local person. He is a phenomenal lyricist. Uh, and if you don't know who this person is, you need to go check this person out. His name is Kane. You can find him through Kane is my name on Instagram, but his album Citizen Kane is like one of the best hip hop albums that I've heard in a long time.
mhm,
Uh, the way he moves on a beat, he can switch it on a beat. He's just creative. He sticks to what he knows. He doesn't try to, gangster rap or anything like that. It's just very straightforward, and he's an amazing lyricist. So that's my number four. And again, if you don't know who he is, you need to check him out because this is real rap. This is real hip hop. And in a world where it is just misguided, this is what needs to be heard. So
cool.
what's your number three?
My number three is A Tribe Called Quest, The Low End Theory.
Mm,
Oh man,
that's a good one.
God, I love that lo-fi. Like they're so just jammy, and
Yeah.
like you can just put that on, and it doesn't feel like it's not a bounce album. It's just like a chill fucking album.
Mhm,
Man,
mhm.
I love that like New York style. Man, there's not enough I can say about that album, but that I missed it on my unskippables, on the honorable mentions. It might have even
Mhm.
replaced maybe
Yeah.
one of my albums on the top. But man, when we were researching this, I put that on, and god damn if I didn't spend like the hour listening to the whole thing going, I gotta listen to more Tribe, man. It's so good.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
Yeah. That is an amazing album. It didn't
yes.
make my list, but that is an amazing album. Um, for my number three, I went with Atmospheres, When Life Gives You Lemons, Paint Them Shits Gold. I love this album. I love Slug. I love the group Atmosphere. It's just, he's been grinding underground for 20 years
Mhm.
and he's totally okay with it. And it keeps him fresh, it keeps him raw, it keeps him real. And especially at this time, he was starting to get a little notoriety right then and there with this album and God Loves Ugly. And, he was at his peak. I mean, lyrically, he was just on fire. So yeah, that's my number three. I love
Cool.
that album to death. It could have been an unskippable, but I forgot about it.
Groovy, man.
What
Groovy.
is your number two?
My number 2 is Buster Rhymes, When Disaster Strikes.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. It's, it's late 90s, 96,
Yeah.
97. The singles had been out. Dangerous,
Mm-hmm.
Put Your Hands Where I Can See.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, as a goth kid, this was like the blending of what I wanted, where it's hip hop and it's dark,
Mm-hmm.
because Buster does have like those beats that he can come up with really have that dark tone to it.
Mm-hmm.
And he can rhyme a million miles an hour. It's phenomenal. I love just listening to his like his lyrics and how he can take this and that and mix them together, and it paints a picture, like this surreal picture. But yeah, it's dark in the sense of yeah, it's just groovy.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, Buster's When Disaster Strikes.
Okay. It's Busta.
Buster's.
You keep being super white and saying Buster. It's Busta with
Oh,
an A. Uh, Bust a rhyme. Not
not Buster
Buster
Rhymes.
Buster a rhymes. All right, my number 2. I've talked about this album at nauseum on several different occasions. I don't know if those occasions were recorded in our hip hop podcast. It was, but I don't think that that's out anymore. So
No.
I think that all that came down. So this is the first rap album I ever heard, and I will love it to death till the day I die. And that's Boogie Down Productions' Criminal Minded.
Okay.
That's Scott LaRock and KRS-One. Uh, this album is so 80s hip hop. And so, like, it's kind of elementary by today's standards.
Mhm.
But I mean, this is when hip hop was beefing. Like, Queens and the Bronx, I mean, they have songs of beefing each other. Like, you know, it it's like the golden era of hip hop. Um, just they sampled everything back then, and it was real sampling. It wasn't just I downloaded this clip, let me make it a beat. Like, no, they had turntables. Like
Yeah.
Scott LaRock had turntables, and KRS-One has such a powerful voice.
Mhm.
He speaks a lot, about rising the black community, but and in this one they tried to be a little gangster, but his voice is powerful. It's like Chuck D, when
Yeah.
you hear it, you listen.
Yeah.
So I've always loved this album. I always will. It, it's one of my favorites. So
Yeah.
that's my number 2. Do you want to hop into your honorable mentions,
Yes,
Jerry?
I do. All right. So I have 4. I wanted to do less than my actual list, so I didn't sound like, yeah, I got all these albums, kind of do.
Well, I didn't hear that. So
Yeah, well, it's
I
all
got
right. You can
11.
do all your,
So
111 or however many you have and stuff from like, now, here are my honorable mentions. First
yep.
honorable mention, one that I love dearly, is Grandmaster Flash and the Furious Five, The Message.
Hmm.
Uh, you gotta love Grandmaster Flash. I mean, he's the innovator. It's funk,
Yeah. Oh,
it's soul,
absolutely.
it's everything. And then they just kind of did poetry that
Mhm.
in motion uh while their music was playing, and it became hip hop. All right, little modern Tyler the Creator's Wolf. I
Hmm.
love this album.
That's one of
uh
my honorable mentions, so I'll skip it.
yeah, Wolf. I love the beat and the
Mm.
sound that he chose
Hmm.
to do his art over. It's so different and original. It's not just drum and bass. There's
Right.
other sounds that he's pulling from, and It's just really nice.
Mhm.
Aesop Rocks. Did I say that right?
No,
Because no, what is it?
ASAP Rock.
ASAP. Okay, because I see the O and my brain goes like sop, like Aesop up.
Right, Aesop. Yeah, Aesop Rock. But
Okay,
you said Aesop Rocks.
rock,
No, you said rocks. It's just rock.
rock. Okay,
Aesop Rock.
so Aesop Rock,
Yeah.
the impressionable kid. I
Mhm.
like this album a lot.
Yeah.
My favorite will always be Kirby.
Yeah.
The man raps about getting a kitten for mental health.
Yeah.
He is a lyric genius.
Mhm.
I love to just hear what he has to put on paper.
Mhm.
All right, and my last one is Mad Villain, Mad Villainy, MF Doom,
Mhm.
and I like that guy's style and that album in particular. And I think he's with someone else on that album. I don't know.
I
Um,
don't remember
yeah,
very
no, I know there was
clearly.
a reason that he didn't. He just called it Mad Villain, but
Mhm.
yeah. Uh, once more, lyrical genius.
Mhm.
The beats on it are amazing, and it gives you this style of who his character was.
Mhm.
So those are my honorable mentions. All right, Jacob, rock and roll.
All right. So for my honorable mentions, I have a few more than Jerry, but so starting off, Black Star, Talib Kweli and Mos Def.
Okay.
One album. And then they just recently dropped another one. They said, just one album. We're going to come put this together. It is a phenomenal album. Um, Bun B, Bun B Trill. I got caught up in that Southern rap and, that Southern style, a little bit slower. And again, his voice is captivating. So
Mm-hmm.
I love listening to him. Ice Cube's Death Certificate, uh, No
Okay.
Vaseline, where he's talking shit about NWA, is probably the hardest fucking diss track. I love it. Um, this one, okay. Jay-Z and Kanye West's Watch the Throne. That album was so different than
Okay.
anything that I had heard at that time in a long time. Um, really, really liked it. Outcasts, AT Aliens, of
Okay.
course. That's another Southern thing. Like those Southern ones get me.
Yeah.
Um, Black Milk. That's Danny Brown and Black Milk came together to make an album called
Oh yeah, you told me
Black
about
and Brown. Yeah,
this. Mhm.
love this album. Love Danny Brown. Uh, and Tyler the Creator. But on the other side of Tyler the Creator, there's Earl Sweatshirt's Doris. This album is so good. It is lo-fi. It is brutally honest. It's almost not rap at some point. Like he raps in a couple of them, but in a couple of them, he's just getting shit off his chest, talking into a mic. And I really like it and I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Back with that Southern thing, Ludacris's Red Light District. Love this album. It's a ton of fun to listen to. Ludacris is just hilarious and on this album. And he's a good lyricist. Then we got the Fugees, the score. You cannot have a hip hop list without putting Lauren Hill somehow, some way on it.
Yeah.
So it was this or the Miseducation of Lauren Hill,
That would have been
but
my number
but
6.
yeah, but the Fugees
The
album,
score. Yeah.
yeah, dude, that was
Yeah.
amazing. That was a place and time.
Yeah.
And then the Roots, How I Got Over. I
Okay.
love this album. It actually got me through some hard times. So that's the final one on my list. What let's just do it. Let's just do
Just do it. Just go go.
just go at number ones, dude.
All right.
All right, Jerry. What is your number one?
Cypress Hill Black Sunday.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Cypress Hill sucks.
Fuck you. Fuck you. You
Uh,
put Jay-Z and Kanye on your
that
honorable
album was
mention.
sick, bro. That
I don't
album
give a
was
shit.
sick.
We said no, so disqualified.
Oh yeah,
So
I guess that's true. All right,
no,
well, take it off, whatever.
yeah, exactly. And it's not
And
honorable.
I put Ice
No.
Cube on there too.
Yeah.
I actually
But
skipped over NWA Straight Outta Compton, so
yeah.
at least that's
Yeah, okay.
somewhat cognitive. But yeah,
I
okay.
say that
So
Cube
Cypress
is
Hill.
fine. I mean,
Mm,
yeah, it's popular, but it's not,
I mean, he's one
it's
of the
fine.
big ones. But
No.
yeah, Cypress
So
Hill.
Cypress Hill Black Sunday.
Hmm.
This is probably one of the albums that really got me. I mean, Insane in the Fucking Membrane.
Yeah.
That's that's when I understood that there was this genre when I was a kid,
Hmm.
and I'm only exposed to MTV. So
Right.
I'm not getting like the internet, at the time, so there is no big exposure. But
Hmm.
motherfucker, if that Insane in the Membrane song didn't come on, and I was like, I want to get this Cypress Hill album. And then like you find out, oh, it's just an album about smoking weed,
Hmm.
and
Yeah.
like Cypress has like this simple beat,
Hmm.
that fucking you do any boom, dun 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 dun. It just feels so simple, but Cypress Hill felt more just like it looked like they were moshing in their video,
Yeah.
and like
Yeah.
my visual cue as rock and roll and grunge,
Hmm.
and being like, this is cool, I don't understand, but I want more.
Right.
What's this feeling inside me? But yeah, Cypress Hill just has a special place. If you don't like it, that's cool. That's fine and stuff. But I just I don't know. I'll put Cypress Hill on. Just like sit down here, and it's awesome. So
All right.
Cypress Hill.
Cool. I was a big Ice Cube fan, so I couldn't fuck with Cypress Hill.
Oh yeah.
Um, yeah, they beefed.
Oh.
hmm.
Oh.
My number one is Bone Thugs and Harmonies East 1999
Yeah, I knew
Tournament.
this was coming.
Yeah, of course it's fucking coming.
Meet you at
This
the crossroad.
is by far my favorite rap album ever.
Is that the one with
Yeah,
First of the Month?
mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, this one had like a ton of hits on it.
Wake up.
Because they're good.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, they're
this
fucking
is my
amazing.
favorite. This is my favorite rap album. It's literally this and Criminal Minded. So, uh, when I heard this album at that time in my neighborhood, we missed Creeping on a Come Up.
Hmm.
I had Bone Thugs Faces of Death on tape.
Nice.
Somebody had copied me a tape, or it was a demo or something. I got my hands on one, and it's it's like 16-year-old crazy lazy, and they're just kids. Their voices sound different. The production wasn't very high, but you could tell that there was something there. But it didn't sound like Bone Thugs.
Yeah.
And Creeping on a Come Up came on and just kind of missed. We just kind of missed my neighborhood. We didn't catch it. And that came out a few years, like we were probably like 7, 8 when that album came out.
Yeah.
This album came out a few years later. We were 10, 11, 12 years old, so we were able to grasp it. Um, Again, on tape, threw it in the tape player, boom. Right after that car crash in the intro, I mean, it's banger, 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 banger. And, you know, it was it was and it is still so different than 90% of what's out there. A lot of
Yes.
people say Migos, but fuck the Migos. Uh Unless there's three of them and it's Chevy Chase, Martin Short, and uh Steve
Steve
Martin.
Martin.
Yeah. So those are the only Migos I fuck with. But I mean, this just the way they flowed and blended and harmonized, and they were just saying gangster shit. It was it was powerful. It was a
Yes.
lot. I fucking love this album. No, there's no time in my day, even with those extremely popular first of the month and Crossroads songs on there. There's no time in the day that somebody could hand me that CD and go, "Want to listen to it?" I'm going to go, "Yes," and I'm not going to skip those tracks, even though I know them by heart. I know the whole album by heart, but I still won't skip them. They're
Yeah.
just everything on that album is phenomenal. And at the time, Flesh was in prison and they didn't want him, or no, he wasn't in prison. They didn't sign him. They didn't want him
Yeah.
for whatever reason, and he is the lesser of the bone. But sorry, Flesh.
Yeah.
But
But yeah, I definitely agree. I would have put that album on my list too. That one was always one being played. I mean, it was so good.
they
Uh
were a juggernaut, especially after that album. They were a juggernaut.
yeah. Uh,
They fell off the rails really hard, but
yeah.
they had their own demons to deal with and stuff. So
What would you okay, if we're putting other like, we're putting other albums on there, would you put Coolio on any of your list? Or would you say that he's too like after Gangster's Paradise came out, he was way too well known to be on the list?
no, I wouldn't have him anywhere on my list, anyways.
You wouldn't?
No, none of his music was impressive to me.
No?
It was pretty much laughed at. Um, and one of the OG gangsters when that song had come out, like we were sitting around and he was like, we've been listening to different albums and that song came on the radio and he said, "Turn that shit off. Gangsters don't listen to that crap." And I was like, and I okay. I'm
Yeah.
not I'm not a gangster, but that gangster is a gangster. Like he knows, and he knows that that ain't no fucking gangster music. So, uh I Coolio went right out of my life just
Cool.
like that. Um,
What about Missy Elliott?
oh yeah. Missy, yeah. Dude, she's
Yeah.
great. I
Yeah.
mean,
I would
and
definitely put
she was innovative. Definitely.
Yeah.
Super innovative and her albums were a lot of fun to listen to.
Oh
All of
yeah.
them.
I
Even now.
Yeah, I would definitely pick one of Missy's albums to put on the list.
My neighborhood was very divisive with rap. There were certain things that
You notice
like
why I'm not saying one in particular group
yeah,
right
and I'm
now,
gonna
right?
do it right now.
Okay.
Anyways, you know that Bone Thugs is at the top of my list, and in my neighborhood, you picked Bone Thugs or you picked Wu Tang, and I did not pick Wu Tang, and I still don't listen to Wu Tang as a unit. I will listen to Redman and Method Man. I'll listen to Ghostface. I will listen to them individually, but those albums that they put out together, I don't care that they were good or how good people say they are. I'm in the Bone camp, and that's the
What about the
extent of it.
ODB?
I mean, the dude was phenomenal.
Yeah,
Uh,
I'll give you
but
that.
again, individually, you know, individually he was amazing.
Mhm.
But you put them all in one room, I don't want to hear about samurais and shit. Like that's not like it's hard for me to say now with the evolution of hip hop, but hip hop was meant for a very specific reason. And it always brings me back to that Common song. I used to love her. Like I used to love hip hop and rap so much. It was like everything to me.
Yeah.
And then somewhere around Master P, it just started taking this dive into talking about jewelry and bitches, and it lost its soul. And every once in a while it flares up, but right now we are just nailing this coffin shut with all this garbage out here.
Mm,
So
it's the
for the
same
most
thing.
part, for the
It's the
most
same
part.
thing in the music industry. you have to go out and search for the shit.
Right.
There's
Right.
shit out there. There's good shit out there probably
Right.
right now.
Oh,
There's some
absolutely.
kid
I mean, Kane
who's
is a
hungry.
perfect example.
Yeah. There's some kid that's hungry. He's not signed and he's not, he's
Right.
not rapping about things that me personally I don't understand, but you have to do your homework. You have to go and find, or
Right.
like, I'm someone mentioned this and I'm gonna go. I think that's also because I'm not as experienced as you are, and my list is very 90s
Hmm.
oriented,
Right.
because that is when my peak was. Now, when you look at my honorable mentions, that is where my curiosity is, where
Hmm.
I want to go find something. And
Hmm.
you find the Tyler Creator,
Right.
or you find MF Doom,
Hmm.
and it's like, that's really good. You know, I need to go and do more research kind of deal.
Hmm.
So, but yeah, I think there's a lot of, especially in the 90s, there was this, 101 million camps out there where you like this, you got it. You like this, you got it. You like this,
Hmm.
you got it. And there's just all these different flavors,
Hmm.
and it just it was broadcast it was broadcast on television a lot of times, and you're sitting there going, man, this is new and I really like it. And
Hmm.
my parents hate it. So I'm really fucking into it, because the last I check, I was told I'm supposed to like music that my parents don't.
Yeah.
And that was just the trigger where I'm just like, that's awesome.
Yeah. Um, yeah, I mean, all these, I mean, Kid Cudi's pretty famous, Bone Thugs is famous, but the majority of the people on my list, and especially like Boogie Down Productions was huge back then. But if you said KRS-One to a young person, they'd be like, who?
Yeah.
Um, if you said Scott LaBrock, the Bronx, uh the bridge is over, they would be like, who? What? What's
Yeah.
a Mel B? Who's Dougie Fresh? Who's fucking Cool G Rap? Like, they wouldn't know these people. So technically they fit well on the list because they're forgotten, honestly.
Yeah.
And
And
that's a shame.